Greetings everyone, and Great here with another Age Pirates 4 replay. Spawn on the right side as the Cyan Chinese, we have Kasva. Spawn on the left side as the Green English, we have Liquid DeMu. Economic benefits. The Chinese do have excellent Imperial Official. The Imperial Official force can collect tax income as well as increase the drop-off resources on a singular building, which really just reminds me of Age of Mythology with the Pharaoh. On the left side, the English. They do have some of the most powerful economic benefits of the game through the fact that their farms are half price and they can be incredibly powerful when built next to a mill. But he is actually pushed forward into the center of the land to get the fishies. Fish do collect the same rate as deer, just minus the drop off. And now it looks like science collect them fishes as well. Of course, Chinese English villagers do have a little bit extra damage. Does pick off some of these villagers. Oh, there's just one. Doesn't kill off that one village time. One of Green's villagers do go down as well, so equal. And now this outpost, well, this mill will provide some good spotting. Now both sides are going to try to collect the fishies once again. Huh, look at this. The boar's right next to the deer. Good source of food there as well. Did take a swipe at this scout, or maybe not. I'm not sure what I overheard the archer attack then.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
And it looks like the villagers are falling back, not eyeing to collect the fishies, but eyeing to... Wait. And he had a mill there? Or just the outpost? He may have actually ever built a mill. He actually does not have enough wood to build a mill. That's why he fell back the sheep. He can't actually make use of it. There we go. Now he has enough wood for a mill. When it comes to feudal age unique units, of course the Chinese have the Zunshnu, a good anti-lightly armored unit. And that's probably a bad way to put it. Good versus units with low pierce armor. And of course the English has the longbow, a archer that has increased range and damage, gets +1 damage, +2 range. Does cost 10 extra resources, costs 90 rather than 80. And also the fact that there's also the feudal age man-at-arms, in which the Chinese will have a severe time dealing with. Feudal age man-at-arms, one of the hardest units most civilizations to deal with. Even civilizations who have access to heavy horsemen have trouble versus the feudal age man-at-arms because it's easy to counter horsemen or the heavy knights and all that sort. Simply those spearmen. Well, feudal age man-at-arms, we don't really have a counter other than those heavy horsemen. We do not have the Bardic and the Sun being pulled on field. Looks like the Chinese now eyeing the collect the fishies. Got the Council Hall in the middle of the map as well. I don't think I've ever seen both Council Hall or Hall push this far forward. Though I've actually played against that a couple times beforehand. It didn't go too well for the English player, honestly. Council Hall and Bardic and the Sun. Council Hall looks like will be completed shortly. Bardic and the Sun does, of course, have a quicker build time because the Chinese can build stuff quicker. Does have one arrow firing there. I'm not sure what's actually on the inside. I think probably there's a scout. Wasn't really paying attention to what got inside of it. Council Hall is almost complete. Best way to deal with the Bardic and Sun in an aggressive position like this is to build out a battering ram. After all, one battering ram can easily deal with it. Now I do have some longbow being pulled on the field. The Bardic and Sun's range is 8, which is greater than the longbow's range of 7. More sheep are just being there, being collected. No additional towns therefore looks like being pulled up by each side. Don't see any stone being collected on up. Longbowmen now being pulled on the field. I'm for a couple of longbowmen. We do have wheelbarrow on the way for Green. Sign does not have wheelbarrow just yet. Longbowman now engaging these villagers. He does pull back the sheeple. Now gonna be bopping the sheep next to the town center. Something scares on the inside. I'm not sure what it is. We got a horseman here. He is going for a handful of palings. Of course, you can just play around the town center. The town center does have 8 range. He's just outside that range. We got multiple horsemen now on the field. Horse puppers over here as well. So this area is still very useful for the Chinese players here, both for the bit of fish and the forest puppers. Got more palings being pulled out over here, trying to protect his fishermen. Horsemen now breaking their way, pushing their way forward. The palings do what, 25 damage? That was active a stun shot as well, so decent spear brace, but does find a small window there. The palings being disarmed. Maybe the scout could have pushed on first to disable those palings there, but does take out those longbowmen. Consider bullets useful there as well. You can now push back to the sheep that are down on the ground over here, and then have them supervise it. So the stable is being currently supervised there. Horsemen advancing on forward. There is a good number of longbowmen here and a good number of palings. There are 9 longbowmen here. They can, since they're at +1 base damage, they can overcome the inherent pierce armor of horsemen a little bit easier. Now got +1 pierce damage being pulled up in English, very useful for this large number of horsemen. With a large number of horsemen here, we do got a single horseman hitting that villager, taking him out. The longbow now moving over here to respawn. Looks like those villagers have gone down, so no more villagers collecting fishies. As I am for more longbows. Over here, got the 5 horsemen scout there. Blue's eyeing for a handful of palisade walls there, which will deny this deer to be with his buddies. And that mill was poorly placed. It would have destroyed that fish. Sometimes it can be really hard to tell whether or not a mill or something like that would destroy fish. So you have to be very careful. If you don't know if it does, it doesn't. You may as well just don't just push it back a towel. Because if you think it's going to do it, then it likely is. And the fish gets destroyed immediately upon the scaffolding and not based on completion. I would say... I was going to say maybe it's a good idea if they were to remove those natural resources upon completion rather than upon placement. But then you still don't know whether or not if it's going to be covering it or not. Sometimes I wish the shore fish, as well as even deep sea fish, are just simply unplaceable on top. Yes, you can sometimes even destroy deep sea fish on certain maps. Very annoying. Longbone will find a good fall there, takes out a villager. Multiple villagers starting going down. They'll see a bit of fire there. Right now, the Chinese has 10 horsemen on the field. There's currently all 16 longbowmen in this scout right there. This is the entire English army. Not sure where the Scion horsemen are at the moment. There's 6 out of the 10. Trying to go for a 7th one. Oh, there it is. He's trying to torch down the Count's Hall. Trying to deny these reinforcements, which is good. Longbowman does go down there. Good damage there on those longbows. Longbows do push Sai in a corner there. Eyeing for mass palings. Not sure how effective. Oh, does get some decent damage there on the horseman. The horseman now falling back. Horsemen now trying to push forward, trying to hit these longbows. Longbows are starting to go down. Of course, there's still a good number of them. And as it does hit a couple arrows there on the Imperial Official. Imperial Official does have quite a bit of help. I'm going to stay inside the shrubbery there to stay alive, because right now he is hidden. Mix of hidden and unhidden, because there's a little bit unexposed area there. There's still a couple arrows there on the villager, and all these longbow will go down. Got some spearmen now being plucked with English. Whether it be spearmen or man-at-arms, both would be useful in this situation. Or spearmen would be a good hard counter. Man-at-arms would be a good generalist counter to everything he may fight against. You now have another outpost being put up by Cyan. Does get inside of that one as well. Does lose a couple villagers there. Both sides have lost 7 villagers at the moment, so their population increases are similar. The Chinese player is not advanced to the Song dynasty, so does not have access to faster villager production either. Likely, the English player will go for the King's Palace. The Chinese player will probably go to the Astronomical Clock Tower. Though there is actually a case for the Imperial Palace in this situation, for better spotting purposes. Does decide to get these outpost garrison with the horsemen rather than villagers. However, the outpost does only have 6 inherent range. He needs the hand cannoneer select to upgrade in order to get out the additional range to hit these longbows. So this outpost is seeing some extra damage, free damage there. Right now he's pulling out some archers of his own, not Zunchnu's, because he wants a bit more range, as well does offer a bit more mobility. And plus doesn't require any gold. In which the Zunchnu and the archer do cost the same amount in total resources, 80. Now do got siege engineers being pulled up with English. He needs to get a little bit more wood. A single battery ram could help him cleave the battery from the sun as well as the outposts. Does push a bit too far forward. He really wants his outpost dead. And does hit the horseman there. I think that's what he's trying to do. He pushes the spearman forward like that to ambush the horsemen to come out. Or villagers. I'm not sure. He probably didn't realize there were horsemen there, not villagers. Now he's eyeing for a battering ram. Science should be able to see this with the mill, I believe. And now Science is eyeing for textiles. One battering ram off on the field could start battering down the mill. Now 2 battering rams have been pulling field. He has a good number of horsemen here, but nothing to really engage the spearmen. Horsemen, however, will do bonus damage versus the battering rams. There are 3 spearmen there in the longbow. Bardic and Sun's firing away some arrows. Has a handful of his own archers on the field, which will be a hard counter to the spearmen. Does find a single man-at-arms here. It is just Vanguard man-at-arms. The early man-at-arms research is on the way. Battering now seeing decent damage there on the Bardic and Sun. And looks like these villagers, they're going to get overran. He will lose a couple of them. Horsemen skirmishing around. Archers do get some damage on some of these spearmen. The English spear number is down to 7. The horsemen may be safe to charge in on the longbows. Handful of those trying to push forward, trying to torch down these battering rams now. Spearmen very vulnerable there. Late response there, but we'll get off a couple more spearmen. And now I got the horsemen there. Now's a good time to push forward. There's only 1 spearman in the mix. Villagers need to get out of the Bardic and Sun, start torching on the battering rams, and send them back to collect the fishies. Maybe we'll keep 1 or 2 on repairs, just to slowly repair it up. Doesn't need immediate repairs, so the battering rams will go down. Now these longbows are being picked on off. And this is one reason why man-at-arms would be a bit more of a better generalist counter. They can withstand the archer fire a little bit better. And they are still beat one horseman 1v1 while still being the same cost. You do now have some more early man-at-arms being pulled on the field. He does have the Pierce Armor being researched. With that, the Man-at-Arms will have 3 Pierce Armor, or 4 Pierce Armor total, so that will give them 2 damage per arrow for the archers. At the same time, the torch sound like counts fall. This will likely go down. More the fishies being collected on up by these villagers. Scout to see for the damage there. And there goes those horsemen. That's hall has been saved, but it's now being burnt down. Do have 1 food, 1 wood upgrade, no food or wood, and just now, wheelbarrow. Wheelbarrow probably would have been better a long time ago when he's got all these fishies, since there's quite a bit of travel time sometimes with extra fish deposits. And with now, the English no longer has their fish for their fish and chips. And they don't have not discovered potatoes yet, because they have not been in the New World yet either. Outpost has been deployed out there. Another outpost going on up. Got a large number of outposts. You go for hand cannon near slits, there will be actually a cost-effective upgrade to fight those man-at-arms. Hand cannon near slit does 25 damage. Spring galls do what? 35 damage? Which of course is a little bit, it is of course weaker, but also much cheaper. Hand cannon near slits are just cost-effective when it comes to stone investment for an upgrade. Console slowly being repaired up by a single villager, or 2 villagers. The fire has been put out. Astronomical clock tower being deployed on out now. Castle wage for the Chinese player. The English player has a slight villager advantage. He does need some more food to go to the next age. When he sees his opponent goes to the next age, he may hold off for a moment to get to the next age himself. Because when his opponent goes to the next age, he will have access to the Lancer, crossbow, and of course Fire Lancer, but of course requires additional dynasty. What dynasty does it take to get out Fire Lancers? I never really remember all the dynasty stuff. I don't. Where's the stable? There it is. Been producing off of 1 stable the entire time. Not bad. It does take the Yuan dynasty. Right now it's just Song. With a second landmark, Song does also make his village production get increased, so his villagers can produce every 15 seconds rather than 20 seconds. So now he has 1 and a quarter town center, or yeah, 1 and a quarter town center. So the villager disparity will quickly even out, because it wasn't very large to begin with. Hurricane Sun is getting repaired on up. Could upgrade the spring ball replacement while at it. Just need a bit of stone. The crossbow will be very useful at this age because opponent's playing a large number of man-at-arms. We do have a good number of lances on field, which are a good item versus man-at-arms as well. He does have a good number of spear archers to gauge the spearmen as well, so that would be useful. King's Paw is not being put on field as predicted. Lancer is now making advance. Archers getting damage to their man-at-arms, not spearmen. Lancer is now eyeing to engage the battering ram. He wants that battering ram now dead. Longbow is now seeing a bit of archer fire. He does not have the. There's the veteran archer research on the way. Horseman Lance is not pushed way forward. He's going to need some. His bit damage there. Archer's firing away. Looks like they may be hitting some of the man-at-arms. Oh, we'll see. He's focused on the spearmen. Looks like most spearmen have gone down, so a couple remain, which still pose a threat to these lancers because they're small numbers. Also, longbowmen do punch pretty hard. They're at some damage. The lancers only have 5 armor, pierce armor, so they take 2 damage per arrow. And the longbowmen in this age can get up to 10 damage. which is quite significant. We got a clock tower Nessa B, an excellent counter to the longbows. We got a lot of longbowmen and spearmen and man-at-arms here. The Lord.agion trying to pursue these lancers. Lancers on to harass some of these villagers. King's Palace is being utilized. And good damage there onto these lancers. Clock Tower Nessa B now firing on the Count's Hall. Doing some damage. Not a really good counter item. It does decent damage versus it. More of a soft counter rather than a hard counter. Now got two Clock Tower Nessa Bs now pulling a few. Blue's Cyan's army is pathetically small. What is he? Okay, he's migrating some villagers down south to the board. Does have 8 villagers here. Best get a mill and hero fish out there to get better wood drop off. Oh boy, there's actually 2 berry pauses right there as well. That could be very useful for the Chinese player to make use of. He actually doesn't. He's already consumed a good number of fishies. There's some more fishies to obtain. That's now pushing over here. Iron fishes for more lancers. He's actually lacking for a lot of production queues as well as resources at the moment. The English are able to maintain great food collection since the advanced farming they have access to. And now you can see here these units get automatically rerouted there since it's no longer traversable path. Resistance hold is being cleaned up as well, so you can abandon the villagers here before the English make their way through. One of the villagers do go down, 2 gold remaining. And Imperial Official does go and drop off that taxable income as well. Trying to migrate down south to this gold vein as well. The Pure Official along any of these deposits would be very useful. He sort of advances his way forward. Blue still does not have a real proper defense. He does have, of course, 2 Clock Tower SBs being brought on back. Very useful, that's for sure. The Pure Official does go down there. The Imperial Academy can't get that replaced. Man-at-arms make that advance. Does get some good damage there. Not the great shots with those 2. Lockdown to speed being focused down. A number of archers longbows have gone down. He's trying to focus on the villagers. Science losing a good number of villagers here. Clock Tower SBs has gone down. Lancers now able to engage his forces with reasonable impunity. But a number of Science villagers have gone down. Without a second town center and opponent having 2. He's going to be very far behind villager production, that's for sure. Right now, he does need some more gold income, which he does have now. Nice will be able to finish off that force. Green still has a sizable military on the field. 43 units. There's a handful of units here. I think there's some palisade walls there. Oh, there's his force. All vulnerable to Clock Tower SBs, that's for sure, but the Chinese just need a front line. Palace Guard will probably be a decent front line. His opponent has not deployed out any crossbows, while Palace Guards do have less pierced armor than, say, man-at-arms, especially English man-at-arms with armored clad. At least have some good health to keep the units at bay and good damage output along the Clock Tower SBs engage, as well as being a bit cheaper than, say, Lancers. But I don't think there's even a barracks on the field, is there? The Guardian Sun does also provide some good vision range, so it will be able to provide some good targeting for the Clock Tower SBs. Now Council Hall is going to be his target. He's advancing over here. The wall sitting over here has not been repaired. Even when the board is claimed, you can always build another mill here to grab some extra beer. So, a decent amount of food right there, but not a whole lot, honestly. This gold vein with 2 gold will interrupt some movement. Got one single site now destroyed for the Chinese. Spear now advancing on forward. One pure official does go down. These villagers may want to ban this wood line. A good number of lances here. Let's scout some more of these Scion villagers. He can't be losing any more than this. These villagers are getting hit by these spearmen. Of course, spearmen are not the greatest counter, but they are usable. Let's get a bit of damage there. Trying to lure toward these clock tower nests of bees. Ooh, those villagers got. Those spearmen could actually put more damage there. Not really. Stone's not being collected up. He definitely probably needs to get some keeps. Got some great hit there on those spearmen. Spearmen are mostly dealt with. The longbow and the spearmen are just slowly whittling down the lancers. This is not a good composition by the Chinese player, in my opinion. Sure, the Nesbees are nice, but the spearmen and the crossbows are just whittling down these lancers, and he's maintaining this away from those lancers there. He needs regular horsemen in the situation, probably a bit better. As well as some sort of front line as well, because right now his lancers are simply just not cutting out. Scion will win that fight, but now got some more batting rams and still got a nice cost-effective army deployed by the English. The Chinese player just doesn't have a force on the field. He's going for more lancers now. That force has been cleaned up, but he did lose a number of lancers as well, and with his minimal force, look at the cost of each army. Scion's army is very, very small. Green is very large, but the quality is very similar. But I would take Green's army over Scion's army. This also is inflated by a good number of spring gulls and batter rams. Spring gulls will be very useful not only for the clock tower Nesbees, but also for the lancers, because they do hit hard. They're like hand cannoneers, just that they're far too expensive, like compared to hand cannoneers. Not available in the Castle Age. Clock tower Nesbees advancing forward. These lancers gets a massive volley there. Could have been much worse. There's four of them there, and spring gulls are taking out those clock tower Nesbees. Does save all three of his clock tower Nesbees. Only one Nesbee remains, and all of them are now down. And so that's probably going to be game. Scion has no military force in the field. He deployed too many lancers when he should have got man-at-arms or palace guard and spearmen. I think the problem Scion lost because of his poor composition. This is Great saying, thank you for watching, and on to the next replay.